The roar of engines was still there, loud, thunderous, primal. But for Marc Marquez, the sound had morphed into something far more sinister. It wasn't just the symphony of machines anymore. It was war drums, a heartbeat of revenge. Every decibel carried weight. Every lap was an act of vengeance. And inside his helmet, not calm, not peace. Just a war cry echoing from the hollow left by Sepang 2015. See, most people thought that was just a race, a scuffle, a media headline. But for Marc, it was the day the veil was ripped off. The illusion of sportsmanship shattered. Rossi didn't just stick a leg out. He tried to strip Marquez of his honor, painted him as a snake, tried to drown him in politics, in public perception, in whispers and sideways glances. From that day, Marquez wasn't just a racer. He became something else, something colder, something brutal, something ungovernable. Before that chaos, he was the kid prodigy, the ant of Cervera, the rookie who laughed in the face of gravity and crowned himself champion on his first try in 2013. He rode like a storm, fearless, joyful, insane. Every lean, every corner save, every impossible line, pure electricity. The people loved him. The paddock didn't understand him. And rivals? They watched the scoreboard and cried quietly in hotel rooms. But after Sepang, he transformed. The grins were still there, sure, but they were masks now, disguises for the predator hiding underneath. Those overtakes? Not daring anymore. Surgical strikes, punishments. Every maneuver screamed, "I don't forget, I don't forgive." 2016 to 2019, it wasn't domination, it was annihilation. 4 titles back-to-back, and each of them soaked in the blood of rivals who thought they had a shot. Every podium he stood on, a tombstone for someone else's dream. He didn't just beat them. He made them question why they ever picked up a helmet. And who was building the ultimate machine in the shadows? Gigi, the architect behind Ducati's resurgence. He wasn't here for the fame. He was here to rewrite the engineering code of MotoGP. Ducati, with its Desmosedici beast, had become a terrifying presence by 2017. Dovizioso, Gigi's knight, was steady, clinical, fast. The Red Army was charging forward. But Marquez? He ate that army for lunch. You couldn't prepare for him. Ducati brought blueprints, graphs, CFD models, wind tunnel data, the works. Marquez brought chaos. That was his gift. He didn't race by numbers. He raced by instinct, so sharp it might as well be a sixth sense. Telemetry couldn't track the decisions he made mid-slide. GPS couldn't predict the black magic he pulled off inside corners that didn't exist 2 seconds earlier. He wasn't playing chess. He was flipping the board, stabbing the king, and setting fire to the rulebook. In 2017, Ducati threw the kitchen sink. Dovi was immaculate. That red rocket had straight-line speed that could burn holes in time itself. But Marquez? He hunted, waited, then struck like a ghost with a vendetta. In Valencia, he didn't just win. He broke Dovizioso, forced him into errors, cracked him like a nut under a boot. It wasn't about who had the better bike. It was about who had the stronger will to watch the world burn. And Marc had napalm running through his veins. 2018, 2019. Same movie, different victims. Ducati kept evolving. The winglets got bigger. The bikes got faster. The strategies more refined. But nothing they did mattered. Because they were fighting a man who didn't obey the limits of reality. You bring a scalpel. He brings a machete. You bring data. He brings destruction. And then came the fall. Injuries, fractures, Honda turning into a ghost ship. The Titan fell, and the paddock exhaled. Finally, some peace. Wrong. Because what came back in 2023 wasn't a man chasing a comeback. It was a warlord returning to collect unpaid debts. And Ducati? They gave him a satellite seat. The audacity, the hesitation, the fear. They didn't want to hand the keys to a monster. They thought maybe, just maybe, he'd lost a step. That maybe the fire was gone. Turns out, all that time he was in the cave, he was sharpening his blade. Gresini was the setup, the trap, a wild card no one could read. And Marquez, he turned it into a weapon of mass devastation. By mid-2025, the man had burned the sport to ash. 8 Grand Prix wins in 12 races, 11 sprint wins. a 120-point gap, 5 straight victories, a Ducati first, 70 career wins in the Premier class, number 2 all-time, and counting. Then Gigi spoke, and when he did, the whole damn house trembled. Anyway, I already knew that, but now I understand better why we've struggled to win a championship so far against you. That's not just an admission, that's surrender. That's the chief architect of Ducati's kingdom looking into the eyes of the devil and realizing he's been fighting a myth, a creature not bound by wires and fuel and data. He's been trying to outbuild a storm. You don't fix your ship, you don't change your sails. You get the hell out of the way. Marquez didn't need more RPM. He didn't ask for traction control tweaks. He didn't cry about setups. He took the bike they gave him and made it bleed gold. He turned a machine meant for calculated risks into an executioner's blade. Gigi finally saw it up close, saw how in the Honda years, Marquez wasn't just beating Ducati with hardware. He was murdering their strategy with soul. They had graphs, he had fury. They had torque maps, he had scars, and those years when Ducati had the best tech, Marquez still wiped the floor with them. Why? Because he's not just talent, he's instinct incarnate. His brain processes chaos in microseconds. His body reacts before data even hits a dashboard. He rides as if the bike is part of him. You change the setup, he adapts. You take away traction, he finds it. You corner him, he jumps the fence. The Gigi quote is history's ink drying on the truth. You cannot calculate the unquantifiable. You can't program what Marquez does. You can't teach it. You sure as hell can't stop it. Other riders play with balance and throttle. Marquez plays with God's patience. He touches the limit, grins, and steps over it. Physics? A suggestion. Limits? A joke. Pain? A fuel source. Rivalry? His religion. And every pit wall, every team boss, every engineer who thought they could decode him has ended up staring at their screens, watching a sector time blink green, then red, then green again, and realizing they're watching something they will never understand. This isn't domination. This is crucifixion. He hangs your title hopes out to dry, lets the world watch, then sets them on fire. The gangster saga of Marc Marquez isn't about numbers. It's about fear. It's about that cold feeling in your chest when you're leading a race and you see the number 93 creeping up on your timing screen. It's about knowing no lead is safe. No gap is big enough. That even if you're perfect, he'll be better. Sepang 2015 made him ruthless. Gigi's confession proves he's eternal, and now Ducati sees what they tried to destroy. They tried to beat him, now they feed him, and he's devouring their rivals like he's starving. Sprint races? His playground. Grand Prix Sundays? His kingdom. Strategy? Out the window. Just give him the keys and he'll handle the bloodshed. Gigi, the mastermind, the chess player, the technical priest of Ducati, finally sees what he was truly up against. Not just a rider, not just a champion. A revolution on 2 wheels. He's not the fastest Ducati rider. He's the Ducati that never needed building. So here we are, July 2025. And the scoreboard isn't just numbers, it's confessions. It's burned strategies. It's Gigi Dall'Igna standing at the altar of Marquez's fury and realizing this was never a technical battle. This was spiritual warfare. It was riding possessed. Marc Marquez didn't just arrive. He showed up, kicked in the door, and made everyone remember why you don't poke the devil. The gangster's not back. He never left. And now he's riding your bike. God help whoever's next.